Hey guys, Tony here from Rolling with the Bolins. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back and hanging out. So today we're going to talk about purchasing a used RV, how to go about purchasing a used RV, and what to look for when buying a used RV. So we're going to jump right in. Okay, so the first part of getting ready to purchase an RV, whether it be new or used, and this is even before you start actually looking for an RV, is you need to sit down, look at your financial situation, and come up with a budget. A budget is going to have to be something that you stick with. Do not get out of your comfort level in your budget. Now also keep in mind whether you buy this from a dealer or buy it from a private seller, there's going to be additional fees. So my thought is you should probably count that into your budget for your RV. You're going to have dealer fees, which those could be a little high, but no matter whether you buy from a dealer or a private seller, you're still going to have associated fees like tax, title, registration fees. Those are things that you need to make sure you put in your budget. And also, if you don't have everything that you need to actually haul that, whether it need to be a tow rig or parts to haul the new camper, fifth wheel hitch, bumper hitch, all those kind of things need to be taken into account in your budget. So that way you do not get off budget, because this lifestyle, you want to make sure you're on a certain budget. That way you don't get out of your comfort level, so you can actually enjoy this life. And no matter what RV you buy, it's going to have something that's going to need to be repaired. So save a little bit of money aside other than your budget for just your RV. Okay, now that you've actually have a budget in mind, the budget that's comfortable for you and your financial situation, I suggest looking online for what type of RV you like. You can look at several different websites, dealer websites, and kind of get an idea of what floor plan that piques your interest or what may work for you. And the same thing, you can look at like RV Trader, look at your local sale sites online like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, stuff like that. No matter where you buy it from a dealer or private seller, just got to keep in mind you really have to look these units over. But online searches also keeps you from wasting gas, running from dealer to dealer, and also dealing with the high pressure of the dealers when you're not quite sure of what you're exactly looking for. Because some of them get a little pushy, and you kind of feel like you got to make a decision at that moment, and you do not need to make a decision at that moment. Therefore, looking online will actually help you get some sort of idea of what you can live with and what you can live without. So that's my suggestion, is to look online. Okay, now that you've been looking online, you found a few RVs that strike your interest. So my suggestion is write those down, make some appointments to go look at these, whether they're with private seller or dealers, or find out what dealership they're at. Maybe you can slide in and go look at if you have an afternoon free. Now, key thing is, when you go to look at an RV, is you got to prepare yourself on what to look for before you get there. My suggestion is take a camera with you, take a notepad with you, and tape measure if you want to measure to make sure things are going to fit into storage bays or anything like that. Have some sort of idea what you want to take with you if you want to go full time. If you're just a weekend warrior, it might not matter that much to you. But take those few items with you will help you with your search, and that way with a notepad you can write down the pros and cons, the pluses and the negatives of the RV that you want to look at. So now we're going to get to the nitty gritty. When you go to look at this rig that you've seen online, the pictures could be amazing online, but here's the key thing with that: they look good online. They may not look as good in person as they did online. And right now is where your nose also comes in handy. Very handy, because smell-o-vision. Oh Lord, if you walk into an RV when you first get there and you smell this overwhelming musty smell that's kind of pungent, you probably don't want that RV. It's probably got some sort of water damage. But that leads me to my next point. When you go to look at this RV for the first time, before you even walk inside, take your eyes and look very closely at the outside of this rig. You need to be looking for any possible signs there could be something wrong on the outside. Now, these are anywhere from look to see if the RV is leaning in one direction or the other. Check the rims and tires, because if it's leaning one way to another, it could either have some sort of structural damage, suspension damage, or it could even possibly have frame damage. Now, when you're initially walking up to it, you can get a lot from that picture as you're walking up. Also, when you're walking up, you need to look at the sides of the RV, look at the sides of the roof, check all the seals around the windows. If it has slide outs, have them have the slides out so that way you can see if one of the slides is leaning out, leaning in to top or bottom, because you don't want one that's doing that. Trust me, it's a very expensive fix if you have a problem with a slide. So as you're walking around, look for broken lights. Look for any delamination, you know, like bubbles in the sidewalls. Look at the edges of the roof line. If you see any like tears or rips around the edges of the roof, it could probably have a water leak. But the main thing is if you see bubbles, and I'll run some pictures here, if you see bubbles or anything like that around the side, it's a very good chance this RV's got water damage. Now, if you walked around, you look at the awning, see if the awning's still there, see if it's intact. If you're a private seller or a dealer, ask them to open the awning so you can take a look. Now, when the awning's open, you're looking to see, make sure everything's there. There's no missing pieces to the awning. And you're also looking to make sure that the canopy is not ripped, because those are not super expensive, but they're kind of a pain in the butt if you want to replace it yourself, and they're not quite so friendly on the budget if you have to pay somebody to come and do it for you. So you want to look, see if one's there in good condition, and see if it's got an abundance of like moss or mold or whatever been growing in there, because that's a good sign they don't never use it, or they've probably never really used the RV and didn't really take the time to scrub that down, so it didn't create mold. So anyway, those are the key factors to look for on the outside. Even crawl underneath the RV and look for anything like, you know, broken frame, anything that's all rusty or anything like that or anything. Now, you're going to have a little bit of rust. I mean, don't get that nitpicky. You're going to have a little bit of stuff, especially if you're in the eastern part of the world where there's salt and somebody's used it full time and took it through these areas. But you want to look for any cracks, breaks, bends. Make sure that the suspension's not falling off. You'll notice the broken stuff as you're looking underneath. Be sure to also check the floors in your actual bays, your storage bays. Also, when you're walking around doing the outside inspection, make sure you go up on the roof and look for any problem areas on the roof, like chips, rips, tears, anything like that. Discoloration will look like water's protruding. Check around your AC vent. All those good things up there. Anything that's going to be going into your RV, any kind of holes, wiring, anything like that. Make sure that's all sealed properly. Also, when you're looking around the outside, you need to look at all the hitch mechanisms, whether it be a fifth wheel or a travel trailer. You need to look and make sure that the king box and everything is still intact on a fifth wheel. It's not falling apart, ripped all to pieces, bent all to crap. And the same thing with your traditional travel trailer, where the hitch comes together in the front. That's the V area. It's got the little knob on it. It goes and sits on the little ball on the back of your truck. Make sure that's all there. It's not rusted, bent. You know, step off to the side, take a look, and if it looks like it's bent up, down, side to side, anything like that, that's definitely a sure sign of frame damage. Okay, so once you step inside the RV after you took and did your initial walk around the outside, back to that whole nose thing. This is where you're going to smell that nasty, nasty smell that you don't want no part of. You smell that, turn around and just walk out, because it's not worth your time looking any further, because it's going to be a very costly repair, especially if they got water damage. Water damage in an RV, never a good thing. Okay, now that you're inside, what you're going to do is you're going to take a visual inspection. You're going to walk through the RV, look around at the ceilings, look around at the walls, look for anything that looks out of place. Now, if you don't see anything out of place, this is where you're going to have to get real technical. Open all the cabinets, top, bottoms, all that good stuff. Look around inside, look at the sidewalls inside those cabinets. Look for any possible signs of discoloration, any wallpaper peeling from the walls, any kind of musty or weird smells coming out of those cabinets, because that could also be a sign of water damage, especially if you got mold or you got wrinkles or you're seeing exposed wood up there. Yeah, you definitely got some sort of water leak. Whether it's been fixed or not, don't take the chance unless you have the extra money in your budget to afford to a rebuild. Because usually if it's got water damage, you're rebuilding a lot of vital components in here. Okay, now that you're inside, you're looking inside the cabinets. You're really reaching up and touching the sidewalls inside the cabinets. See if those feel soft. If you feel any softness there, or even in the ceiling as you're pushing up. Signs of water leaks in those areas, and they're very prone to leak in those areas, as that's where the roof comes together to the sidewalls. A lot of people don't seal those well enough and you get leaks there. But like I said, usually you'll see some sort of water streaks or something like that on the inside, and the wallpaper peeling up. Those are definitely signs of water getting into the RV somewhere there. Now also, once you're done looking in the upper cabinets, take that time to look at the ceiling. Look at the ceiling around your vents, anything coming in from the outside, like your air vents, air conditioner, things like that are protruding from the roof into the coach. Look around for discoloration around the sides of those. Look for any yellow streaking on the ceilings or anything that just looks off color of the rest of the ceiling, because those are definitely signs of water damage. Now, also, you want to make sure you check your bathrooms. Check the floors in the bathroom. Check for water, leaks, those kind of things in the bathroom. It helps to kind of do it one area at a time. So once you're doing the living area of this, be sure to check around all corners of the wall where the ceiling meets. Press those, look for streaks, look for anything that looks out of place there. Once you've done that right there, also move on to the floors. Walk the floors. You feel any soft spots in the floors. That could be either a possible piece of loose plywood, that the underlayment under your carpet, whatever, vinyl flooring, whatever it may have in there, or that could also be a sign of bad floors or water protrusion there. That would be something that, if you feel a lot of that, require to crawl back under the RV and try to look at the bottom of the subfloor from the underside. See if it's sealed properly. Now, back to the whole floor. When you're checking the floors, if you have slides, make sure you walk out onto the slides and make sure there's no soft spots in the corners. You're not hearing a bunch of popping and cracking, and it doesn't feel like the slide's going to fall out of the RV. That's the key thing when you're walking on your slide. But make sure you take and put your body weight on all four corners of the rooms you're in and walk up and down the middle. Walk normally. See if you feel any give. If you feel there's any kind of give like that, your body weight will help you decipher if there is a weak spot there for certain. You'll hear it, you'll feel it, trust me. Now once you've done that area there that you've started in the kitchen, living room area, you want to move on to your restrooms, showers, and you want to check the ceilings and cabinets in these areas for the same things. Soft spots in the ceiling, discoloration in the ceiling. But the main thing about checking in the bathrooms is making sure that you never had a leaky toilet. There's water protrusion on the floor from those. That's not a good place to have weak floors in the bathroom, trust me. Or check around the showers. A lot of people, when they get out of showers, they don't really realize what they have to actually do by drying these out, because moisture in an RV is just not your friend. And a lot of people kind of forget that when they're using them on a regular basis and taking showers and steaming them up. You get a little bit of extra, moisture in your RV that way. Now, check the showers. Make sure that when you actually physically step inside the tubs, make sure they're not trying to fall through with your body weight in there. Look and see that they're sealed around the edges of the bottom of the tray. Same with the bathtub, around the edges of the bathtub surround, shower surround. So make sure that your doors, if it has shower doors, those are intact. Look at the ceiling, see if there's any discoloration in the ceiling around the shower, because that also is a place where moisture could steam up from the shower and cause mold under, like if you have like a carpet or something like that on the roof. You don't want that. But you're checking for soft spots on the walls, of course. Now you're going to have a little give around the shower surrounds, just because the simple fact, they're kind of flimsy. All RVs are a little flimsy. But use your common sense. You can tell if it feels like you're going to push through to the outside, then you probably have a problem there. So you want to maybe move on from that one. Like I said, back to the bathroom. Also, if there's water in the RV, I don't know if you're going to have water in the RV at a dealer, but if you're at a private seller, ask them to put a little bit of water in the toilet so you can check the seal on the bottom of the toilet. Make sure the bowl holds water, because that's a key thing when using an RV toilet, is have a little bit of water in the bottom of the toilet so all the terrible awful goes down. And it also, that bulb seal that goes around there, keeps the terrible awful stinky from coming up and stinking up your rig. Now that you've actually looked the rig over, use your nose. You don't smell anything that smells out of place inside. You haven't found any additional damage or anything that we've talked about as far as any water protrusions. Now we're going to move on to checking the appliances. You need to make sure that all the appliances are in working order. Turn on all the lights. Make sure all the fixtures are working, has power to them. And if the RV's plugged in, definitely check the wall sockets. Make sure all those work. Especially if you buy it from a dealer, they'll be more than happy to plug it in for you. And a private seller should, if they really want to sell their rig, they should plug it in for you, if they're able to. Now, once you do that right there, you want to check your stove, make sure your stove works, make sure your refrigerator lights are working, make sure the refrigerator's getting cold, especially if it's propane. Check the microwave, make sure it works. Also, take this time to cycle the air conditioner. Make sure the air conditioner is functioning properly and blowing cold air. Now, also, make sure you check your furnace. Make sure your furnace is working. Have them turn the furnace on, let it run through its cycles, so you make sure it's getting nice and warm in there, because you don't want to have a rig that you have to put a furnace in or an AC unit right out the gate. Those are very costly. Trust me, very costly to replace. But that's just some things you want to make sure that you do check before you actually spend money on a rig. Now, also, don't worry about how long it takes for you to walk through a rig to look this over. This is a big investment for you. Do not let a dealer rush you. Do not let a private seller rush you. If they have a problem where they're trying to rush you through it without you checking all aspects of this RV, they probably have something to hide, and you probably don't want that RV anyway. So it's not a bad idea to bring a second person with you. A second set of eyes will also help you look around and try to find things in the RV that you may have missed. As long as you guys stick to these checklists and check all these here out, you should be able to figure out if an RV is really worth the asking price. Now, also, back to the asking price. You can also look at RV Trader, and you can look and pull the values of said rig with year and what the book says it actually is supposed to be in your area. They will pull what they're selling for in your area, what they could be selling for in another area, and use that as a bargaining tool. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of things to consider before purchasing a rig. A lot of things that you should count and go look at. A lot of things and a lot of problem areas that you should actually be looking at when you go to look for your first or whether it's your 15th RV. To make sure that you don't buy yourself a money pit. Because spending money on these things, you're going to spend money on these things. But it'd be nice to, when you purchase your rig, you're not throwing money at it right away. Something that will last you a little while. Now, if you're not comfortable with actually doing the inspection on your RV yourself, there are services out there, or certified inspectors will actually come out and actually physically do this inspection that I've kind of walked around and showed you guys and what to look for. That's what they'll do for a nominal fee. I've heard anywhere between $250 to $1,200, which I think is a little pricey. Save yourself some money, but like I said, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, hire one of these gentlemen, ladies, to come out and do this inspection for you, just for your own peace of mind. Now, if you guys follow some of these steps, hopefully this will help you guys make an educated decision before you purchase a money pit. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, please leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to try to help you as much as I can. And like I said, guys, if you like the video, this video helps, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel and come back where we talk about RV related things, what it's like to live full-time RV life, and a few other things in between. Until next time, guys, we'll see you down the road.